Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I make my thumbnails, like for example this one and this one that's for my latest live stream. Alright, so first of all I'm going to start off with this one and I'm going to just go like in order, so to this one and this one. Okay, so there's not going to be like lots of cool effects and stuff in this video because, well, basically because it's like a tutorial and because I'm showing you guys how to do something, so I want you guys to like focus, like grab a pen, like grab whatever you want and just like start taking notes. Okay, so first of all, the website I use is called Photopea or Photopea. I don't know how to say it, but I call it Photopea. So basically it's like a Photoshop replica. So I'll just show you guys how to do this. So basically you search photopea.com in your browser. And so what you want to do first is you want to load up Photopea like this. So then you want to click new project and then you want to click on the YouTube thumbnail one right here. Or you can click on this one, which is a 1920 by 1080. So personally I use this one, but you can also use this. Okay, so I'll be going step by step. So let's start off with the first layer. So you can get any image like this of a forest in Google. So basically what I searched is like a Roblox forest, like realistic. So those are like the keywords you want to put in Google. And then you can click on the image. You can go to image adjustments and you can adjust anything you want. So like vibrance, for example, it makes it like more vibrant. So this is like after, this is before. And then you can put it like, you can just adjust with it. And the same with contrast. So here's max contrast right here. Here's after, here's before. And then here's it with no contrast. So as you can see, you probably shouldn't go like all the way to the end, like max or something. A good rule of thumb to have in mind is probably just going like somewhere in between. So maybe like the 50s or something like that. The next step for this thumbnail is getting your avatar. So I got the screenshot from Blender, which if you don't know, Blender is an open source software where you can import your Roblox avatar and then like make cool poses with it and stuff. So I'll just leave a quick tutorial from Role Builder down in the description, which that's a tutorial I used. So yeah, thank you Role Builder. I recommend watching that video if you don't know how to make poses and stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty good video. Next, I added like a bit of dust to my avatar to make it look a bit more real. So basically the title of this thumbnail is I Survived 10 Days in Apocalypse Rising 2, which hasn't come out yet in my channel, but by the time you're watching this, it might have already come out, who knows. And for the memes, whenever this video comes out, I'll link it in the description. So once you added this texture right here, you can also search it on Google. So basically you can search like dust, texture, PNG, or like scratches or whatever that you want. And so basically what you can do is like, if it's too dark and it's like too visible, you can like drag down the opacity here. So by clicking on the image and then dragging down the opacity. And so the next step I did is I added like custom scratches and like these holes right here. So once again, I'll add like another tutorial on how to do the scratches because this one also takes like a bit of time, which if I did all the tutorials on all the knowledge I know and I put it in like one video, this video would probably be like 12 hours long. And so yeah, you can like drag down the opacity, you know, you choose what you do and stuff. So yeah. And then after that, I added a new layer by clicking on this icon right here, which adds a new layer. And you want to go to your paintbrush. After you're on your paintbrush, you want to go here. You can change the size. So I usually do like 190 or yeah, 190. Yeah, so I do like about 190. And then you want to put the hardness down to 0. Or maybe you can, or actually you can do like 1000. It doesn't really matter. So after you got this, you want to go to this block right here. And then you want to change the color to black. And then you want to lightly click on the image, which will add like a slight shadow, as you can see right here. And then for this one, I dragged down the opacity to 31, but you can customize. So if this opacity was 100, it'd look like this. Yeah, as you can see, this is like way too much. So you want to just drag down the opacity for this one too to like 30 or whatever you want. And then now this next part is optional, but I like adding a small border around my image, which makes it look a bit more professional. And personally, I just like it. So the way you want to do this is you want to go here to this rectangle shape icon. You want to select the fill and click none, and then you want to click on stroke and you want to click this color icon right here, and then you want to change the color to white. Then after that, you want to drag at the corner of your image and then drag until the bottom like this, and then you want to let go, so it'll make this. Then you want to go here and you want to adjust the stroke like this. So right now it's on 51 pixels. As you can see, it makes a kind of style like this. But then once you got this, you want to go down to this bending option, and then you want to click overlay, and yeah, so that's basically it. After that is my text. So as you can see, each letter in the word day is a bit different. So this one's a bit, so A is like rotated to the left, Y is like a bit straight, and then D is kind of like rotated to the right. So basically the way you do this effect is you go to this text icon right here. You click your font, it doesn't really matter. And then once you've clicked on your image, you want to write each letter separately. So for example, for this one, it's going to be D, and then I want to write A. So I click again and then I write A. And then you want to go to gradient overlay I basically just made it like a white over gradient, which I don't know if it's too visible. This is like kind of light gray, and then this is white, which in my opinion it makes it look a bit better. And you want to set this to -90, and you want to set this to an overlay. Then for the final effect, you want to add a drop shadow. Now here are my settings for the drop shadow. So you can customize with these options, and you can basically do whatever you want. And yeah, I forgot to mention, but I added more scratches, which are these ones right here. So after all this, I added this slight color correction effect, which makes the image look a bit more blue. So as you can see, this is after and this is before. I personally like this effect because it makes it stand out a bit. So the way you add this effect is you go into new adjustment layer and then you click on curves. Now right here, I know this might look a little intimidating, but it's fine. So you want to select click on this channel right here and do not select RGB. Go to red. So then basically you want to click on this channel and then you want to go to red. And then for the red, you want to bring it a bit up like this. And then you want to bring this one a bit down like this. So it should make basically like a kind of a S shape. And do the same one for green. So like this and like this. Now for the blue, it's a bit different. You want to bring both of them up. So like this. You want to click here and you want to click here. And as you can see right now, I basically have two curves. But it just makes the image like look a bit better. So there's with and this is without. Now for my final effect, I added a super bloom, which basically makes the image stand out and it just adds a bit more light. So this is without and this is with. So the way you add super bloom is you basically go to window on the top right here and then you click on plugins. Now I don't know why my plugins isn't loading, but the one of the first ones that should be up here is super bloom. Now I don't know why that one isn't loading, so I can't really bring it up. But once you got the you click on the plugin and you installed it, you want to go on the side right here and then you should see another icon. So then you want to click on that another icon and then it might lag a bit, but it'll bring the super bloom options. So it automatically brightens up the lights and like you can basically customize it to how you want it to look. Now that super bloom tab might also be a bit intimidating, so I'll just put another tutorial in the description if you want to learn more. And yeah, that's basically how you do this thumbnail. Alright, so the next thumbnail is this grow a garden thumbnail right here. As you can see, the style is way more different. So right here, it has more vibrant text and the images stand out more. So basically this thumbnail is way simpler. So what you want to do is you want to find it two images to compare. So I found this right here, which is just tomatoes, and I found this huge mango. And then basically what you want to do is you get this, once you get your image, you want to put it like somewhere right here, and then the other one should be somewhere like this. Then you want to click on one of the images and then you want to go to blending options. Then after blending options, you want to go to stroke and you want to click here and then you want to make sure the stroke is enabled. So once the stroke is enabled, I usually change the size to 24, but it depends what you like. And then you want to change the color to white or whatever you want. So basically the effect adds like a line in between the images to make it stand out more. So after these images, I added this text right here. Now the way I added this text is you want to go to blending options and you want to add one stroke. It depends on the size of the text, but for this one, I put the first stroke to 16 pixels. And I put the color to black. And then you want to click this icon, plus icon right here. And then it basically adds another stroke. And then for the second stroke, you want to change the size, well, basically according to the size of the text. So for me, I put 24 pixels. And then you want to change the color to white. After that, you want to add an inner shadow. So I'll let you guys copy the settings right here. Same with the inner glow. Then after that, I added a red gradient overlay to make it look better. So in this image, red stands for like being broke and basically having zero money. So once you're done with that, you also want to set this one to -90. Then you want to go to drop shadow and make sure all these are enabled, by the way. So the gradient overlay, drop shadow, inner glow, inner shadow, and two strokes. And I'll also let you guys copy the drop shadow one. And once you got this text, you basically want to hold Alt on your keyboard and then you want to drag it like this. And then you want to make sure that they're basically aligned. So then you want to change this text to 100. Now once your text says 100, you want to go and click blending options. And then you want to go to gradient overlay. And then you basically want to set it to like a green gradient overlay. So you want to set it to something that looks like this. And then your text is finished. So after that, I decided to add a arrow which points from 0 to this. Which basically shows like how throughout this video will grow from $0 to 100 billion. Now you can use the same settings from the text and basically just apply it to this arrow. And you can also set a gradient if you like. So right now it's green or you can make it red. It doesn't really matter. Also, the way I found this arrow is I liked all the other things. I just searched it on Google. Alright, and for the last part, you want to add a bit of color correction. So this is the image without color correction and this is the image with color correction. So in my opinion, it makes it look a bit more vibrant. So basically what I added is hue and saturation, which the way you add this is you go down here, you click on this new adjustment layer and then you click on hue and saturation. And then after that, you can adjust the saturation to your liking. Same thing with the vibrance. So you can go here and then you click on vibrance and then you adjust it however you like. So yeah, that's basically it for the second thumbnail. Now, so the first thumbnail is basically similar to the first thumbnail we did. You want to find the background right here, which I basically just searched Dead Rails background. And so basically I'll show you guys how to make this 3D effect. So you want to click on your image and then you want to write whatever you want. So for example, for my case, I'll write dead. Oh, also, by the way, make sure it's in caps. So you don't want it to look like this. You don't want it to look like this. Instead, you want it to look like this. So now, for example, you got your text. You want to go. You want to select the text, and you want to go to blending options. Now, what I did was I added a 3D layer right here. So you want to click on 3D, and you want to change this one to -90. Now you can experiment with the distance and shrink, which basically what shrink does is it basically moves back a bit more. So as you can see, it looks a bit more 3D-ish. For my case, I think I put this one to around like 5, and I put distance to like 10. And you want to select this color according to the color of your text. So for example, the main color is white. So I'm pretending this 3D layer is going to be a bit darker. So I'm going to click on like a light grayish color like this. Yeah, so this looks well. Now once that 3D layer is done, you want to click on the image. You want to click on the image, and then you want to go to convert to smart object. And you also want to rasterize it. But before you rasterize it, make sure the text says what you want, because after this point you cannot change the text. So you right click on the text again and then you go to blending options. Now you can experiment with this. So for this one, I think I put it like around like 16. Okay, 16 is a bit too much, maybe like 13. Yeah, this looks good. And then if you want, you can add other elements too. So then what I did after that is I added these two zombies in the background, which I searched Dead Rail zombies, and I got a PNG image of both zombies, and I copy pasted them into the canvas. So for the zombies, I really didn't change much. I only scaled them down and I put them in the background. And I also went to blending options. I added a slight drop shadow, an inner shadow, and a stroke. Also, here's the drop shadow settings. And I basically did the same thing with this one. Except for this one, it's already a bit dark, so I didn't add an inner shadow. So then after that, I added myself, and I just made a cutout of my head, which I used this tool right here, which is called the magic wand, and I basically selected my head. Now this magic wand isn't 100% accurate, but sometimes it is. So for example, I want to click on the heart. As you can see, it selects this, which if it selects this, what you want to do is, so let's say it selected this. You just want to drag out, and then as you can see, it's selecting more and more of the heart. Oh, we went too much. And yeah, so sometimes it goes a bit too much and it just makes it look weird like this. And if there's some parts that I can't select, you can go to the erase tool, make sure you selected your image, and then it might say you gotta rasterize the image first. So rasterize the image, and then you can erase whatever you want. So for example, let's use the same example. Let's say I want to erase the heart. So I just go here and I just start erasing. So boom. As you can see, I erased it right here. And then after that, I searched blood on Google and I selected some PNG images and I put it here. And basically what I did is I just resized them a bit. So as you can see for this one, it's been rescaled a bit. And if it doesn't really look too good, you can hold these edges and then click Control, or I think it's a command on Mac, and then you can like move it like this with Control. Moving it with Control adds this 3D effect, which in some cases it could make your image look better or worse. So just experiment with that. And yeah, so that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you all learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.